Hey everybody, Dan God of Thunder here, and if you haven't seen the last patch notes, the final one of the season where they're releasing Heimdallr, they are changing how they do crossplay on a go-forward basis. And it used to be that console had its own ranked scene. I believe that was divided between Xbox and PS4 as well. And then PC had their own ranked scene. But with the change at the end of Season 6 and now going to Season 7 with the SPL, all the biggest players on the console scene are moving over to PC. So guys like Layers, Inbound, like the old Hype Unit console team, anyone who really wants to make it into the pros is trying to go on keyboard and mouse, and as such PC. So Hi-Rez has changed this. So now they're going to detect whether or not you're on console and using keyboard and mouse. And they're going to segregate it by input device. So controllers, and this is a Razer, Wildcat, whatever. So like controller users will be in one pool, and then keyboard users will be on another pool, which is fine, I guess. But it leads me to one question. Why not just combine them all? And I think that's the thing they should do. They shouldn't have keyboard and controller. It should all just be one pool to create the best experience possible. And the first thing you're going to say is, well, controller players are worse. And that's true. You lose skill by playing on controller. I could beat me. I'm a main solo laner. I could beat me on if I had a copy of me on the other side playing with a controller versus my keyboard and mouse. That's true. I'm a better player using keyboard and mouse, and that's not just due to muscle memory. Keyboard and mouse is a better input device. However, it only matters to an extent. A top-tier solo laner on console is going to beat the shit out of me on my keyboard and mouse versus their controller. If you put up Predators, if you put up Wolves against me, 10 times out of 10, they're going to win, and it won't be hard. They can even give me free pick. I can even pick their character for them. It won't matter. It doesn't matter. But that being said, of course, Wolves and Predators versus themselves on keyboard and mouse will lose once that keyboard and mouse version of themselves has had sufficient time to get used to it. So console controller players are going to be worse, but they're going to sink. So if the average player is a 1500 elo, maybe the average controller player sinks down to 1400. And now with a bigger pool of crappier players, the average keyboard and mouse player has a 1600 elo, for example. There's still going to be bad keyboard players. There's still going to be keyboard players who don't know how to play the game, that don't know the mechanics, that don't have good game sense, don't understand how to pick and ban. So they're going to suck. They're still going to have shit elos. But eventually cream's going to rise. And eventually, if you're like a plat level player, you're really only going to be in there with the best controller players. And at that point, these are people who have been cutting their teeth against keyboard and mouse the whole time. So they're used to this deficit. Either they're picking characters they can work with, they're used to it, or they know that they're not playing the best version of themselves. They're not the best version of themselves, and that's okay too, to increase accessibility. Because if they want to be better, all they have to do is just buy a keyboard and mouse and plug the damn thing in. All this is going to do is just make it very, very difficult to play ranked if you're a controller user. Because all the top players who either want to invest into Smite on a full-time basis or on a serious basis, or people with financial resources, are going to move into the keyboard and mouse pool. So eventually, all you're going to have in your controller pool are people who have to use controllers because of a disability of some kind, which is not common, but those people do exist, and people who don't have the financial resources to have keyboard and mouse on console. And it's going to exacerbate this problem of console scene is dead, but instead of segregating it, you're just kind of ruining it for controller players. And that's not going to be as big of a pool, but because it's not going to be as big of a pool, those games are going to be even more miserable to play. So at that point, why not just shove them in and tell them, hey, you've got to deal with the keyboard and mouse people, because they've got to deal with it in casuals already. And as a keyboard and mouse player, if I'm not as good as someone on a controller, that's my fucking fault. But let me know what you think below. Hit the subscribe button, like, share this video. I am pushing towards 1,000 subscribers. That will allow me to start monetizing the videos, primarily through ads. So instead of seeing ads that just make YouTube richer, they give me a little bit of the cut too. I'm sure I'm a little bit more likable than YouTube. Either way, thank you for watching. Take care. See y'all next time.